When most people think of Goa, they think beaches, parties, and nightlife. But what if I told you some of Goa's best experiences happen nowhere near the beach? Today, we are exploring the colorful Latin quarters of Panjim, tiny hidden cafes, old bakeries, heritage streets, local food, old school bars, and one of the hostels that quietly became part of Goa's backpacking history. And trust me, this place feels nothing and somewhat everything like the Goa most tourists see. Welcome to Panjim bus stand, and honestly, this is where every Goa trip should begin at least once. Not at the airport, not inside a taxi, but right here. Conductors screaming destination names, people rushing with bags, local buses moving in and out, and pigeons somehow surviving all this chaos just like full time employees. Now, this is my kind of travel moment. No fancy cafe, no aesthetic setup, just hot tea, controlled chaos, and people going somewhere. And somehow, places like this tell you more about a city than luxury places ever can. And also, let me know in the comments, would you start your Goa trip like this, or you're straight away airport and cab people? And from here, I jump into one of Panjim's electric air conditioned buses to head towards Fontainhas. And not Fountain someone corrected me. And the ticket price is just 30 rupees, which honestly felt hilarious because literally a few minutes earlier, both taxi and auto guys confidently quoted around 500 rupees. Goa Transport Maths deserves its own research paper at this point. And during this tiny ride, Panjim suddenly starts looking beautiful. That white church appearing between road and buildings, that's the iconic Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception Church. Even from inside a moving bus, it was impossible not to keep staring at it. And finally, welcome to Fountainhas, or actually, Fontainhas. Yeah, apparently most tourists pronounce it wrong, and even I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. And the moment you enter this part of Panjim, everything changes. The road gets quieter, buildings suddenly explode into color, and every corner starts looking like a movie set. Yellow walls, green Portuguese windows, tiny balconies, old tiled roofs. It genuinely feels like someone slowed time down here. And honestly, half the tourists here are not even walking. They're conducting full time photo shoots. Couples, wedding shoots, Instagram reels, cinematic poses. Meanwhile, locals are probably wondering, bro, can I at least enter my own house? Some buildings have literally put up boards asking people not to take pictures, but nobody seems emotionally ready to listen. That famous green building, especially, I think it has appeared in more Goa reels than actual Goa beaches at this point. As I continue walking towards my stay, every lane keeps distracting me. Tiny cafes, art galleries, quiet corner. Even this place, Galleria Gitanjali, looks less like a gallery and more like something hidden inside an old European street. While walking through these streets, you slowly realize something. Fontainias isn't just trying to entertain you, it's just existing beautifully. And maybe that's exactly why people love it. And then I finally arrive at my stay for the night, the Old Quarter Hostel. Now, this hostel has a bit of backpacking history behind it. This property was earlier operated by the hostel crowd, one of the earliest brands that really pushed backpacker hostel culture in Goa, and honestly, maybe even among the early movers in India too. Correct me if I'm wrong here. But I think even the name Old Quarters came during that phase. And after the pandemic, the hostel crowd stepped away from operations and the landowners restarted the hostel again around 2021. Thankfully, they kept the entire vibe intact. And the moment you enter, you immediately feel that old backpacker energy. Open cafe layout, wooden furnitures, travel style design, community seating, interesting wall art. Nothing here feels over designed, it feels lived in. And honestly, that's exactly why it works. Also, this sign here saying beach is boring. Bold statement to make inside Goa. Risky but brave. The cafe setup is honestly super charming. Only a few tables, simple seating, nice natural light. But somehow it feels very comforting. And surprisingly, the prices here are actually reasonable. A cappuccino for around 140 rupees inside a well designed Goa cafe. In a tourist heavy area, that's honestly rare species behavior in Goa. Even the rest of the menu looks pretty sensible, which immediately increases my respect for a place. It's festive season and hence the Christmas boards. Tiny travel guides pinned on this board, almost like a physical Pinterest board for backpackers. Heading upstairs, the vibe continues exactly the same. Wood covered stairs, and the first floor honestly feels beautiful. Large, comfy seating, board games, huge windows, and a community table. This is one of those places where strangers probably end up having a 2 hour conversation after randomly asking, "Where are you from?" I think this guy is up to something. Just kidding. There's also a tiny bookshelf here, filled with travel books and self help titles. Classic hostel behavior. You arrive for one night and suddenly feel like changing your entire life. This property has mixed dorms, female dorms, and one private room upstairs. And since I was visiting during the festive season, a dorm bed here cost me around 1200 rupees, including breakfast and coffee. Honestly, for this location and vibe, that felt pretty reasonable. And now, time for breakfast. Right next to the hostel is this tiny little place called Anita Tea House. Simple setup, no fancy interiors, no influencer style presentation, just clean local food, which usually means the food is going to slap. So I order a local favorite, the aloo pav, basically bread with potato curry. Simple, affordable, and fresh. Honestly, perfect for a slow Panjim morning. Was this food enough for me? Absolutely not. But yes, emotionally. We now move forward. Still slightly hungry and now fully in slow travel mode. I continue walking through the streets of Fontainhas. Honestly, this place is best explored without any plan. No maps, no itinerary, no top 10 things to do. Just walk, because every few seconds something catches your attention here. A bright yellow wall, tiny blue window, an old balcony, and a random cafe sign. And then suddenly I notice this tiny board saying breakfast and lunch available, with an arrow pointing into an extremely narrow lane. My curiosity immediately activates, so I enter. At this point, it genuinely felt like I was about to accidentally enter someone's house for breakfast. I decided to retreat. Back on the main roads, I continue walking past Panjim and the surrounding streets. And this entire stretch honestly feels like an open air art district. Art galleries, heritage cafes, old Portuguese buildings. Everything here feels creative. Even the windows look curated. This gallery, especially Velha Goa Galleria, had some really interesting displays from outside itself. And what I liked most here was nothing felt aggressively commercial. It still feels like people actually live here, which gives this area its charm. And of course, the photo shoot industry continues at full power. Tourists everywhere trying to get that perfect Goa picture. Honestly, I don't even blame them. This place is ridiculously photogenic. That white church, especially, looks unreal against the colorful streets, and at some angles, it genuinely doesn't even look like India. And after slowly wandering through more colorful lanes, I finally reached the main Fontainhas circle again, which honestly feels like the heart of this entire area. And somewhere near the circle, I discovered a stylish little cafe called Gold Spot. At this point, my hunger had returned for season 2, so I walk in. And instantly the place feels nice. Interesting flooring, framed artwork, bookshelves, clean seating. Simple but thoughtfully done. So I ordered their veggie green omelette. And honestly, this vlog is slowly turning into one man continuously searching for food across Panjim. Not complaining though. And then I finally find the place I was actually looking for. Confeitaria 31 the Janeiro. And the moment I enter this lane, the whole atmosphere changes again. Tiny winding pathway, yellow heritage walls, quiet moment. And at the end of it, this beautiful little bakery appears. And honestly, for a 95-year-old place, they've maintained it so well. It still feels colorful, alive, and charming. A 95-year-old bakery hidden inside a tiny lane in Fontainhas. Now, this is a kind of place I love discovering during travel, not because it's viral, but because places like this carry time inside them. Established in 1930, this bakery is known for traditional Goan Portuguese baked dishes, breads, and sweets. Inside, the place is absolutely packed. People everywhere, orders being shouted out, and take a look inside this tiny side room filled with old newspaper cuttings, celebrity visits, and framed awards. And suddenly, it doesn't look like a cafe anymore. It feels like a living archive. Fresh baked items disappearing rapidly, and honestly, that chaos is a very good sign for any food place because crowded bakeries are usually trustworthy bakeries. I grab a coffee and a cupcake for me. Even outside, the setup feels beautiful. Tiny cafe tables, people waiting for orders, customer collecting food themselves. And I actually loved one old school thing here. When your order is ready, they loudly call out your name. No buzzers, no apps, no digital screens, just old school human chaos. And honestly, some experiences should never modernize completely. From here, the streets slowly begin changing colors. Yellow walls turn red and the cafes become louder. Music slowly starts leaking into the streets, and Panjim quietly transitions from one color shade to another. And then I arrive at one of the most talked about bars in Panjim, the Joseph Bar. During daytime, it looks calm and almost ordinary, and this time it's not even open yet. But wait for night, and suddenly this place transforms completely. And the day suddenly becomes night, the same board now glowing, and Joseph Bar finally comes alive. Inside, everything still feels old school wooden counters, classic shelves, simple seating. No design, no luxury aesthetics, just atmosphere. They're known for serving iconic Goan drinks like Urak and Feni, making this spot a favorite among both locals and travelers looking for an authentic Goan vibe. While I confidently entered and ordered Limca, which I'm pretty sure disappointed the owner emotionally. And now Panjim starts looking beautiful. Festive lights everywhere, stars hanging across streets, lit up cafes, busy restaurants. This area somehow feels peaceful and lively at the same time. Even places I had seen during daytime now look completely different, especially the veranda restaurant at night. Warm lights, people dining outside, music floating into the streets. And then I returned towards the Fontainhas circle again. Cars moving, people talking, shops glowing, tourists wandering around. And right in the middle of all this movement, a shawarma stall quietly doing excellent business. Honestly, night food stalls are the true backbone of civilization. And after searching for almost 30 minutes, I finally find Ashok Bar and Restaurant. A place legendary for one thing, Zakuti. Simple interiors, no unnecessary presentation, just serious food energy. I ordered their mutton zakuti with pav, and this was incredible. Rich flavors, balanced spices, and deep Goan masala taste. One of those dishes where you stop talking for a few seconds after eating. Always a positive sign. After dinner, I continue walking through Panjim for a while. Bars getting busier, music becoming louder, people slowly filling the streets. But unlike places like Anjuna or Vagata, Panjim sleeps earlier. Things begin slowing down, and honestly, calmness actually suits this place. So finally, after my first night in Goa during this trip, I head back to the hostel. Next morning, I'm back at the hostel cafe. Slow morning and a quiet atmosphere, and with fresh air. And the cafe manager suggests something interesting: rose infused tea. Now, I usually don't expect life changing experiences from tea recommendations, but this was genuinely refreshing. It was light, floral, and comforting. Perfect kind of drink for a slow, punchy morning. And somehow I ended up returning once again to Confeitaria 31 de Janeiro, which honestly tells you everything about how much I like this place. Morning crowd again, fresh pastries, breads, traditional baked dishes everywhere. And this time I ordered what I thought was an omelette. What arrived was emotionally closer to scrambled eggs with toast. Not exactly what I had mentally prepared for, but still pretty good. And one thing became very obvious here: this bakery is not surviving on hype, it's surviving because of consistency. 95 years of business only happens when people genuinely trust your food. And seeing old places still thriving like this feels really nice. Back at the hostel, and it's finally time to check out the private room upstairs. And surprisingly, it's quite spacious. Large bed, clean white linen, and a simple layout. Nothing over the top but comfortable. And then comes the best part: the balcony. Open air seating, fresh breeze, and quiet street views. This feels like the kind of balcony where backpackers accidentally sit for 3 hours questioning life decisions. Also, quick appreciation for the bathroom here. It's a clean loo. Travelers understand how important this sentence actually is. And finally, as this Panjim chapter comes to an end, I take one last look around the old quarter hostel. The hanging books, the cafe space, the quiet sit out area, the lone traveler sitting silently in a corner, and somehow this place perfectly matches the energy of Fontainhas itself. Slow, creative, peaceful, and a little nostalgic. From colorful streets to old bakeries, local food, hidden cafes, historic bars, and backpacker corners, Panjim turned out to be one of the most unexpected, charming parts of Goa I've explored. And honestly, this side of Goa deserves way more attention than it gets. So until the next journey, this is Uncover More signing off from Panjim, Goa.